Central Coast Mariners have officially announced the departure of A-League men's head coach Mark Jackson, who departs the club just 1 week out from the start of the A-League men's 2025-26 season. This is huge news. This is an absolute bombshell just 1 week out from the start of the new campaign. We'd love to hear from you guys. What do you make of this huge breaking news? Join the conversation in the comment section and make sure you're subscribed here to Coast Watch Football. We'll be talking all things Mariners throughout the upcoming campaign. So, Mark Jackson leaves the Mariners. Obviously, we will forever remember the incredible 2023-24 campaign where Mark Jackson as head coach led Central Coast Mariners to that historic treble, the A-League Men's Premiership, the Championship, the AFC Cup, and brought through, continued the development of so many fantastic players in that season, the likes of Max Ballard, Josh Nisbet, Jacob Farrell. Jackson, he'll always be fondly remembered here at Central Coast Mariners for those incredible achievements. But look, this is coming off the back of just yesterday. There were reports online, news rumbling online that Jackson was linked with a move away from the Mariners to Buriram United in Thailand. That move hasn't been confirmed yet, as far as I've seen, but he has officially departed the Central Coast Mariners. Let's dive into what the article from the Mariners official website says about this announcement. It says here the Central Coast Mariners can confirm that head coach Mark Jackson will be departing the club to pursue an exciting international coaching opportunity. So, again, we've seen that he's been linked with a move to Buriram United. Of course, we shouldn't forget a few months ago, there were links between Jackson and a move to Motherwell in Scotland. We did a video about that here on Coast Watch Football, talking about that situation. That was like a few months ago now. And it felt like things had sort of settled down, and we'd seen pictures of Jackson in training, and unfortunately not too much video and interviews, some things here and there. But it looked like Jackson was going to stick around for this upcoming campaign and lead the Mariners into this next season, which obviously this preseason hasn't necessarily been the best for Central Coast Mariners. We've lost some key players. The transfer window has been a little bit underwhelming. I think we've made some smart moves in the transfer window, but I think we were hoping for more. And there's been all sorts of reports and rumblings in regards to what's been happening behind the scenes. Look, I don't want to speculate. We don't really want to do that here on this channel. We want to talk about sort of the facts and what we can see here, and try and be positive about the future of this club, which we know is sometimes difficult. Mariners, this club goes through a lot of adversity. There's a lot of challenges, and this is another one. This is a huge hurdle, a huge hurdle for this big upcoming season that we have here for Central Coast Mariners heading into the 2025-26 season. The article continues by reading, Jackson, who joined the Mariners ahead of the 2023-24 Isuzu Ute A-League season, has overseen a successful on-field period of the club, guiding the team to the first Australian team treble win and securing the 2023-24 Premiership and Championship double. Incredible achievement. Absolutely incredible. Again, with a team like Central Coast Mariners, one of the smallest clubs in the league, not in terms of like money and resources, you've got some fantastic teams across Australia, but Mariners, we're one of the smallest clubs in the league. That has to be said. And of course, we should highlight that last paragraph here of this section, which says Mark's decision to move on is one that he has made himself following the opportunity to take the next step in his coaching journey abroad. Look, in a way, maybe you can't blame Jackson for wanting to move on, to test himself out in a different competition. And as we know, it's not just the Mariners, but the A-League as a whole, reportedly, as we've been hearing over the past couple of years, just struggling financially. We've seen Western United, they've gone into hibernation for this upcoming season. There's a sense of uncertainty and I think nervousness around the A-League. Like I'm hopeful and optimistic that the league as a whole will overcome that. But I wonder, look, again, we don't want to speculate, but Mark Jackson, what his thinking was behind this decision to leave. Was he always set on departing the Mariners? Was he, like, this whole preseason, he's been training with this club, leading the club during preseason training for weeks and weeks now, over the last few months, and he leaves right here at the end. It really is disappointing timing. We do have to say that. But again, Mark Jackson, we wish him all the best on his next opportunity, wherever he does end up. But I think it is important to highlight there, as the article states here from the Mariners official website, Mark's decision to move on is one that he has made himself. So it wasn't the club looking to push Mark Jackson out. As from what the club is saying here, it was Mark Jackson's decision to depart the Central Coast Mariners. That's what we can take away from this article here. Well, some quotes from Mariners CEO Greg Brownlow. It reads here that we are grateful to Mark for the commitment he's shown during his time at the Mariners. He's led the team with great passion and care for our players, and we wish him all the best for his next challenge internationally. And I mean, Jackson's done a fantastic job as well, bringing through even the next generation of players. We think about some of the guys who have come through just in the past year or so: Arthur DeLima, Hayne Eames, Bailey Brantman, Nico Duarte, who I'm sure are all set for even bigger seasons this coming campaign for the Mariners. Mark Jackson was crucial to the development of those players and has really, given them the opportunity here in the senior team at Central Coast Mariners. So these next two paragraphs are interesting. It says here the Mariners will now begin the process of appointing a new head coach. In the interim, the club's assistant coaching staff will lead the team for training, including during this Sunday's Fan Day trial match. We're taking on Wellington Phoenix this Sunday at home. Says here that an interim coach may be appointed to guide the squad while the search for the next head coach continues. Interesting. The final paragraph reads, while Mark's decision comes as a surprise, the club remains resolute and strong, and our players are professional athletes who are preparing as normal as we move toward our exciting clash in the F3 Derby against our fierce rivals, the Jets. Look, I like them ending on that note, highlighting that these are professional athletes that we're going to get on with the job at hand, the task at hand in a professional manner. I think that's, probably the best thing you can say in this tricky situation with the head coach leaving so close to the start of the season. And I wonder what the squad's feeling as well, that the players, how long did they know that this was going to be happening? Was this something that was just suddenly dropped on them? The article does state here that Mark's decision has come as a surprise. So I wonder what communication was had there with Jackson, when maybe the people at the club were expecting Jackson just to continue into this season, or maybe he just dropped it on him, in the past, days or weeks. Who knows? We don't know. So it is interesting there, that second paragraph talking about interim coach. I mean, the assistant at the moment, Josh Rose, I think we're expecting maybe him to come in as that interim. That would be my expectation, at least. That would be my expectation, that Josh Rose does come in and take over as the interim head coach. Obviously, great servant for the Central Coast Mariners over the years as a player and as an assistant coach in recent seasons. And Josh Rose, big task for him now to lead the side, potentially, if it is going to be him. Big task for him to lead this side into this new season on such short notice. But of course, he's been there in all the coaching meetings, of course, throughout this preseason. He knows how this team's going to play. I don't know if we'll expect any major sort of tactical changes, especially considering the season is so close as well. But in terms of searching for the next head coach, it is always tricky in Australian football. There's not that many, top quality head coaches available to us. Look, one that we can maybe look at, I don't know whether John Aloisi is an option. We know he was the head coach at Western United, has been for the last few years, but that club's now in hibernation. Could the Mariners look at bringing John Aloisi back to the coast? He was here as a player almost a couple decades ago now. He played for the Central Coast Mariners. Could he return as the head coach? That would be fantastic. That would be a huge appointment. John Anastasiadis as well would be a big one as well. He's the head coach at Heidelberg United, who made it to the Australia Cup final. Whether maybe we could give him a job here in the A-League. That would be a huge appointment, I think, as well. He's done a fantastic job at Heidelberg United, not only in the Australia Cup, but he won the championship in NPL Victoria as well. So maybe a couple options there. Again, that's just my own personal speculation. And look, John Hutchinson, what's he up to at the moment? John Hutchinson, he was head coach at Yokohama F. Marinos, and even, of course, played Central Coast Mariners in the Asian Champions League Elite last season. He came over to the Central Coast. So, that would be a pretty fairy tale appointment, I think, to bring John Hutchinson, former captain of the club, back to the side. I believe he even spent a brief time with the club as assistant coach many years ago now as well. So John Hutchinson, that would be cool if he could come back as head coach as well. So maybe some options there. Are those realistic? I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on how things play out. But my expectation personally is that we'll see Josh Rose take over as interim coach for the time being. And yeah, look, this is going to be a difficult time. It's a tough time. This announcement coming a week out from the season, it truly is quite remarkable. It's this off-season, as we know, has been... Look, there's been plenty of rumors and speculation in regards to what's going on behind the scenes at Mariners. Again, we don't want to speculate on things too much, but it has been disappointing that we haven't seen, as much as we were hoping done in the transfer window. But look, the Mariners, we're all about overcoming adversity. We face the challenges, we face the adversity, and we pull through. And we've had some tough seasons. We've struggled at times, but us as fans, we have to continue to really stick by this club, even when it does get difficult. when it does get tough, we have to keep pulling through, show up for these players. And look, the new season is upon us. I'm excited about the new season, despite obviously Jackson leaving. It is disappointing. It does hurt. It does hurt for the fans, so close to the season starting. So we just have to try and stay hopeful and optimistic for this new campaign. And I hope you guys can join me here on Coastwood Football for the journey. Make sure you hit subscribe, Mariners fans, and join the conversation in the comment section as well. Hit the like button on the way out as well to support the channel. Really appreciate you guys joining us. Join the conversation in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.